What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Alright, so before I get into this video, I want to give a shout out to a couple of subscribers for showing love to the channel. Much respect to the brother King Jeffrey 718 for the $7 donation via the Cash App. Leaves a note saying ESPN said MJ number 1, LeBum number 2, Kobe number 3, NBA players voted. He added a video about that the other day on Too Raw for Sports. I know some of the detractors have been saying, yeah, Too Raw, but the numbers are starting to narrow a bit. Well, I mean, that's to be expected with the constant bombardment of the media and their ridiculous propaganda. So, yeah, all of this anti-Jordan shit that's out there, you would think it'd be close, like razor sharp, like Kennedy Nixon 60 shit. But it's still not that particularly close. And I still feel that LeBron's running out of time. He's running out of time. He's done all of this campaigning, and he's still down 25 points. You know, if it was fair and balanced media, it'd be 4-1. But anyway, much respect to you for showing love to the channel. Also, I want to give a shout out to the brother Tyrone for the $10 donation via the Cash App. He says, salute, bro. Please talk about David Cho. Shaking my head. Oh, I'll talk about it on the Patreon. And I'm not going to really talk about that on YouTube. It's not a safe topic to talk about on YouTube. But I will talk about it on the Patreon. So those of you who subscribe to my Patreon, please subscribe to it. It's nearly 300 people. About 300 people subscribe to it. And I upload a lot now because a lot of content that I can't put on YouTube anymore. So, anyway, let's get to this game. So, Game 2 is between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Miami Heat. Of course, in Game 1, Miami had the stunning 130-117 victory over the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, there is a caveat for that. Of course, Giannis only played 10 minutes of that game before he went out with an injury. Some type of tailbone contusion injury came when he fell. He also has a wrist injury. So, not only did Giannis not play for the rest of that game, but he's ruled out for Game 2. So, would Miami be able to take a commanding 2-0 lead into Miami? And things would really look pretty dire for the first-seeded Milwaukee Bucks. But never fear, the deer is here. And the deer was shooting the lights out, the headlights out, pun intended. The Deer made 25 three-pointers, tying the NBA playoff record for most threes in the game, which was established back in 2016. And I remember this because I had a crazy title for that game that I can't put out there anymore. But it was Game 2. I think it was Cleveland versus the Hawks, I think it was. Was it the Hawks? But I remember it was a blowout, 120-something to 90-something or something like that. I remember that game. Cleveland made 25 threes. Well, the Bucks made 25 of 49 from beyond the arc. And how did they do it? Well, by going inside and feeding the beast. In Game 1, Brook Lopez only had 10 points. All right? In Game 2, the strategy was, okay, we're going to feed the beast this time. Let's go to Brook Lopez. And that's what they did initially early on. Brook Lopez, I think, had 13 points at the end of the first quarter. And they methodically fed Brook Lopez to the point where he had 25 points on 12 or 17 shooting. The runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year had his best game in this young playoffs. But by going inside, that freed up the three ball. And that's when the game truly began to break open. Even though the final margin was only about 16 points, the game never really was that close. I mean, it never really was that close. The Heat outscored the Bucks 37-20 in the fourth quarter, and they still didn't seriously challenge in this game. At one point, the Bucks were up by nearly 40, and it was a by committee thing. Chris Middleton, 16 points, 6 of 16 shooting, but 2 of 5 from three-point range. Joe Ingles, 17 points, 5 of 6 from three-point range. Bobby Portis, 13 points, 15 rebounds, 3 of 4 from three-point range. Javon Carter, 1 bucket, but it was a 3, 1 of 3 from three-point range. Pat Connaughton, who didn't even play in Game 1, first game back in a while, I believe, came out and scored 22 points, 6 of 10 from three-point range. Drew Holiday, 24 points, 5 rebounds, 11 assists, 4 of 10 from three-point range. Grayson Allen, 16 points, 4 of 8 from three-point range. 25 of 49 from beyond the arc. For the Miami Heat, Victor Oladipo, 15 points, 6 of 13 shooting, 2 of 4 from three-point range. Matt Strauss, who I think had 31 points in Game 1, 4 points, 1 of 4 shooting, all from downtown. Gabe Vincent had 16 points and 4 of 9 shooting from downtown. Jimmy Butler, 25 points, 8 of 12 shooting, 2 of 4 from three-point range, but it wasn't nearly as dynamic enough of a performance to overwhelm what Milwaukee was doing. So, be that as it may, Milwaukee still only has a series split, but I believe they play again on Saturday. There's like these weird 2-day gaps between these games, because these players complain so fucking much. But then again, usually when the scene shifts in the city, it is a 2-game layoff. So anyway, that just gives Giannis more time to recover from this injury, and I think more than likely he'll probably play in Game 3, which would be bad news for the Miami Heat. Miami is not going to get Tyler Hero back. Tyler Hero, I think, is scheduled to have surgery Friday. He's going to be gone for a month to 6 weeks, which is essentially, unless the Heat have the greatest run in playoff history, they're not going to get Tyler Hero back. So, I think the first game was a wake-up call for the Bucks. They kind of took Miami too lightly. And also, I just can't see the Heat having these offensive games like this. 130 Game 1, 122 Game 2, even though, it really wasn't that close. I can't keep seeing them scoring 120, 130 points. Reality is going to set in one of these games. And it might be Game 3. But we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, tell me what you guys think.